Go.
All right, shalom. I'm going to say welcome to the elect. And we're going to start by giving all praises to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah, and double honors to the elders. All right. So the topic we want to focus on today is MSG. MSG is a acronym for Monosodium Glutamate. And you find out that MSG is in a lot of ingredients, you know, because the so-called white man, he poisoned our food, so that way you'll be dumbed down and be sick. He make money off of that. In fact, let me get Job 9:24.
Okay, this is Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Right. The wicked is who? The wicked is Esau, the nation of Edom, which is the so-called white race. Now, the elder Gabar always say this. He said, it's not enough to call the white man the devil. You got to prove it. So in this lesson, we're going to prove that the so-called white man is the devil, you know, by his actions. Go ahead.
It says, he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
Right. If the white man's not the devil, then who's the devil? You know? So go from there to Micah, the 2nd chapter.
Okay, this is...
Because it mentioned that the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. Go on.
This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Right, it says, woe unto them that work iniquity. And that's, woe means destruction first. And who it's talking about is the so-called white man. Starting with the elites and these different brotherhoods or different societies that they have that aim at, you know, depopulating the earth, which they really want to depopulate Jake or destroy Jake off the face of the earth. But the Most High is not going to allow it to happen. Go on.
When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand.
Right, because it's in the power of their hand. Because the earth, the rulership of the planet Earth was given unto them. So these elites, they can't get no rest until they come up with new ways and new ways to murder innocent people. All right, so I'm just going to go into the article, and it's called, if the brother could get it, MSG calls it obesity, hides behind many fake names. MSG hides behind 25 or more names, such as natural flavoring. MSG is even in your favorite coffee from Tom's Hortons and Starbucks coffee shops. I wonder if there could be any actual chemical causing the massive obesity epidemic. And so did a friend of mine, John Earth. He was a research assistant at the University of Waterloo in Ontario, Canada, and spent years working for the government. He made an amazing discovery while going through scientific journals for a book he was writing called The Slow Poisoning of America. And hundreds of studies around the world, scientists were creating obese mice and rats to use in diets or diabetes test studies. No strain of rat or mice naturally obese, so scientists had to create them. They made these creatures morbidly obese by injecting them with MSG when they are first born. The MSG triples the amount of insulin and the pancreas creates, causing rats and perhaps humans to become obese. They even have a name for the fat rodents they created, MSG treated rats. When I heard of this, I was shocked. I went into my kitchen and checked the cupboards and the refrigerators. MSG was in everything. The Campbell's soup, the Hostess Doritos, the Lay's flavored potato chip, Top Raymond Betty Crocker's hamburger helper, Heinz canned gravy, Swenson frozen prepared meals, and Kraft salad dressing, especially the health low flat ones. The items that did have MSG mark on the product label has something called hydrolyzed vegetable protein, which is another name for monosodium glutamate. So that you know these so-called white people or these scientists, they know that MSG is addictive and it causes obesity. And what it does to you, you eat a meal that has MSG into it, you get addicted to it. You start having cravings, and then you start buying that merchandise more and more. Go ahead.
This is Psalms 58:2. Yea, yea, in heart ye work wickedness.
Yeah, and in his mind, which that's what the word heart means, in his mind he worked wickedness. Because by doing that, it gets you sick. And that's why you see the mass of the American population, they fat as hell.
And that's why in Deuteronomy 28, speak about Israel.
Matter of fact, let's get it. Deuteronomy 28. Because you gotta go to the so-called white man, to buy your food. You can't grow your own food. You can't have your own land, because they would take away your resources. And you gotta get a license just to have a farm.
Oh, wait, so we gotta go to them?
Yeah, for the one. Then that's 48.
Yeah, 48. Yeah,
Let me finish this point real quick. Because you got to go to the so-called white man, to get your food, your water, everything everything you need to survive. Your clothes, which is unlawfully according to the Most High's law. Because the law speaks about you're not supposed to mix cotton with other fabric or any other fabric amongst each other. But yet, the clothes that you buy, you got different, fabric mixed together. So that's, against the laws of the Most High. But it's beyond your control, because the so-called white man, he controls everything. Right? So.
Yeah, it says, it's Deuteronomy, you're Deuteronomy now, right?
Yeah.
Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, and hunger.
That enemy, the enemy is the so-called white man. Go ahead.
It says, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
Yeah, because you got a lot of niggas, they like to come up to us and say, if you hate the so-called white man so much, why you wear his clothes?
Yep.
Well, the scriptures say, you should go to your enemy, which is the so-called white man, for the want of all things. So if you want a job, guess you how to go to? You got to go to the so-called white man. If you decide to go out there and, let's say, set up an oil table, the so-called white man gonna fuck with you. He gonna tell you got to get your stuff, pack up, and leave. Yeah. You try to make money on your own, he gonna mess with you, because he can't tax your private business. Yeah, right. So that way he wants you to work for him, so he could tax everything that you make.
That's right. Like, if I could say something too, yeah, that's like, if you try to start a business, or if you wanna grow your own crops out the backyard, they want to seize that. They want to take control of that. Or if you want to have a garage sale, you want to sell some stuff, you don't have no kind of permit. They're gonna tell you to pack it up and take it in the house, man.
Or they could confiscate it from you.
Right.
Are you seeing Jake? You see younger Jake on a day that's real hot, they go out there and sell water. But the cops will fuck with them, and sometimes they just take the whole case of water, and they take it, and give it to their fellow cops.
Sorry.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
That.
And it says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
And that's happened in slavery. But the so-called white man, he took the yoke from off your neck and he put it on your head and your brain. Because now he don't gotta put a chain on Jake to get them to do his will. Because Jake will do it willingly, because he dumbed them down. And by dumbing them down, he poisoned their food, because the food Your food has effect on how you think. Is it more?
That was it on that.
All right, let me go back to this. It was shocking to see just how many of the foods we feed our children every day are filled with this stuff. MSG is hidden under many different names in order to fool those who read the ingredient list so that they don't catch on. Other names for MSG are Ascent, Ajinomoto, natural meat tenderizer, etc. But it didn't stop there. When our family went out to eat, we started asking at the restaurants what menu items contain MSG. Many employees, even the managers, swore they didn't use MSG. But when we asked for the ingredient list, which they grudgingly provided, sure enough, MSG and hydrolyzed vegetable protein were everywhere. Burger King, McDonald's. Oh, speaking of McDonald's, they had a documentary called Super Size Me. I remember when I was in school, you know, we watched that. And it was based on, you know, this cracker. He had a project. He was very fit too. He exercised every day. He ate the right things. So he wanted to do a project, you know, based on fast food. So what he did was he stopped exercising, and what he did was he just ate, you know, McDonald's all day, every day.
For a month.
For a month. He ate McDonald's for a month. McDonald's in the breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Even their waters also.
The waters. And he just didn't go to one particular restaurant. He went through different states. And come to find out, he came addicted to the food. His health went bad, you know, and he wanted to put a lawsuit on McDonald's. But the reason he got addicted to it, because McDonald's has MSG, along with other chemicals, you know? So it says Burger King, McDonald's, which you shouldn't be eating this stuff, Wendy's, Taco Bell, every restaurant, even the sit-down eateries like TGIF, Chili's, Applebee's, and Denny's use MSG in abundance. Kentucky Fried Chicken seems to be the worst offender. MSG was in every chicken dish, salad dressing, and gravy. No wonder I love to eat that coating of the skin. You get it?
No, where was you at? Point to it?
Right here.
Yep.
It says Kentucky Fried Chicken seems to be the worst offender. And that's for you niggas that love to eat chicken. You know, you like to go by the mashed potatoes and biscuits. So it says Kentucky Fried Chicken seems to be the worst offender. And why you think they target Kentucky Fried Chicken? Because niggas love to eat chicken. They know niggas like eating chicken, you know? So what they do, they make sure they put MSG inside of it, so that way you know you're constantly buying. You know, you're on your lunch break, you go to KFC, McDonald's, you know, because you start getting cravings. And I experienced that before, you know. I used to eat McDonald's, you know, then you just start getting cravings. And he's like, something ain't right, man. Something ain't right. You won't even be hungry. You just start getting cravings, you know. Because that shows, you know, how much of a devil this so-called white man really is. All right, go ahead.
This is Proverbs 4, verse 16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief.
Right, they sleep not, except they have done mischief. Because eventually, you keep eating these products that contain MSG, you're gonna get overweight, you're gonna get high blood pressure, you're gonna get diabetes.
That's those diseases in Deuteronomy 28.
Yeah.
Right?
If you go, matter of fact, you can finish reading that, but when you get a chance, you can find that.
Okay. All right.
You're gonna get high blood pressure, you're gonna get diabetes, high cholesterol, along with other, you know, sicknesses or elements, you know, because, you know, that's all right. That's what the so-called white man does. He poisons your food And that's why Jake got so much sicknesses. Go ahead.
It says, "For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall."
Right. Which that goes into their Agenda 21 plan, where they want to depopulate the earth, and they really want to destroy Jake from off the face of the earth. And that's the Most High's people. So what he does, you know, they cause you to fall by putting these chemicals in your food, such as aspartame, monosodium glutamate, along with other, you know, poisons that he put. The chemtrails, the fluoride. Go on.
Yeah, that was it on that.
All right, so I'm gonna go back to this. So why is MSG in so many of the foods we eat? It is a preservative or a vitamin. You asked a question. Not. All right, hold on.
Okay.
Not according to my friend John Erb in his book, The Slow Poisoning of America. He said that MSG is added to the food for the addictive effect it has on the human body. Even the propaganda website sponsored by the Food Manufacturers Lobby Group supporting MSG explains that the reason they add it to food is to make people eat more. See that? So you eat more. If you eat more, you what? You spend them more. A study of the elderly showed that older people eat more of the foods that is added to. The Glutamate Association lobbying group says eating more is a benefit to the elderly, but what does it do to the rest of us? Betcha can't eat just one. Takes a whole new meaning where MSG is concerned, and we wonder why the nation is overweight. Because not only people eat this much food, they don't exercise, you know, and that at an early age they got all these health problems. And you know, you're 20 in your 20s or your early 30s, you would think the person in their mid 40s. You got like this one girl that I know, she had diabetes, and she was what, 19, you know, 19 years old with diabetes, you know, because that's because Jake got a bad, you know, eating diet.
I got you.
All right, go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy 28:61. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou...
What's some of those plagues? Cancer,
Yep.
HIV,
Yep.
diabetes, high blood pressure. What other sickness Jake suffering from?
Said,
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's. Oh, which
Alzheimer's.
that's in here too. That MSG causes Alzheimer's. What else?
like kidney stone, all them diseases, you know.
So those are all the books. Those are all the plagues that's not written in the book. You know, because we under the curses.
Cancer. Yep.
All right, so I start back. Now, according to my friend John Erb, in his book, The Slow Poisoning of America, he said that MSG is added to food for the addictive effect it has on the human body. Even the propaganda website sponsored by the Food Manufacturers Lobby Group supporting MSG explains that the reason they add it to food is to make people eat more. A study of the elderly showed that other people eat more of the food that is added to. The Glutamate Association lobbying group says eating more is a benefit to the elderly, but what does it do to the rest of us? Betcha can't eat just one. Takes on a whole new meaning where MSG is concerned, and we wonder why the nation is overweight. MSG's manufacturers themselves admit that it addict people to their products. It make people choose their product over others. It make people eat more of it than they would if MSG wasn't added. Not only is MSG scientifically proven to cause obesity, it is an addictive substance. Since its introduction into American food supply 50 years ago, MSG has been added in larger and larger doses to the pre-packaged meals, soups, snacks, and fast foods we are tempted to eat every day. The FDA has set no limits on how much of it can be added to food. They claim it's safe to eat in any amount. But how can they claim it's safe when there are hundreds of scientific studies with titles like these? And this, it gives you different, titles. You brothers that, that want to read this article, I'm going to put it up at post-production. No, the date of the last study was no typo. It was published in 1978. The medical research community and food manufacturers have known about the side effects of MSG for decades. All right, you got something?
Yeah, okay. This is Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 13. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I will drive them.
Right, and that's the curses that the Most High put on Israel because we sinned against the Most High. So that's why our food is so polluted. The water we drink is polluted. Everything that we consume is polluted because the Most High put them curses on us. You can walk. Let me get that in Mark. Let's see. I'll tell you right now. All right, Mark 16 and 18.
Okay, this is Mark chapter 16, verse 18.
Like the brother was telling me, that the so-called white man, he puts more fluoride in the urban community where Jake is at than other communities. The fluoride has a effect too on the mind. It gets you, it loads down your testosterone. It makes you docile. It causes cancer. It causes bone problems. So the so-called white man, he's purposely, poisoning Jacob. But he even poisoned his own people. That shows how much a devil he is. That he'll poison his own. All right, go ahead.
Okay, this is Mark 16 and 18. They shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover.
Right, read that part one more time.
Okay. Yeah. This is Mark 16 and 18. They shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing,
That's a serpent is venomous. That's poison. And they said if they should drink any deadly thing, like your water, like I mentioned, fluoride, that's a deadly thing. Go on.
Okay. And if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover.
Because the Most High is the one that's protecting this from all these chemical engineered food. Through the grace of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. The Most High is going to take care of the elect. Is there more?
That was 18 one, bro. No, that was
That's it. All right. Many more of the studies mentioned in John Herb's book link MSG to diabetes, migraines, headaches, autism, ADD or ADHD. That's that hyperactive attention disorder. That it said Jake is under because if a child, so hyperactive in school, he got ADD. And we gotta we got to put him on, medicine, according to the so-called white man. And they got another disorder. If you want to take care of your body, if you don't want to eat fast food, you want to eat herbs, eat veggies and fruits, they label that as a new disorder. So this man, he's a devil on all levels, He's a devil on all levels. Now he's just making up sicknesses and disorders. But yet, if you're a faggot or a lesbian, that's not a disorder. Here, you want to fuck another man. But yet, there's no treatment for that. See, this is why this man got to go down. But Jake, they want to live comfortably with the so-called white man, and they want the so-called white man in the kingdom of heaven. The so-called white man is going to be in the kingdom of heaven. He's going to be there as a slave, all right? And he's not gonna be, saying, side by side with us. He's gonna be there, working, You got something? All right. So I'll just read this again. Many more of the studies mentioned in John Earth's book link MSG to diabetes, migraines, and headaches, autism, ADHD, even Alzheimer's. Because the brother mentioned it. He mentioned, Jay have Alzheimer's. Well, MSG has been linked to Alzheimer's. You wonder why you got the elderly Jake, with Alzheimer's. You know who to thank for that? Thank the so-called white man. All right? The scripture said he should show no favor to the old or the young. To the so-called white man, he can't get any mercy.
Right.
So what can we do to stop the food manufacturers from dumping this fattening and addictive MSG into our food supplies and causing obesity epidemic we now see? And pretty much you just go and try to save America. But we not here to try to save America, because America cannot be saved. America cannot be saved, because the Most High ordained America to come into power, and he set up a date for America to go down. And we quickly approaching that day. Let me get Revelation 11 and 18.
This is Revelations chapter 11, verse 18. And the nations were angry, and the wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they shall be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto the servants, the prophets.
Right, what's the reward? The reward is the kingdom of heaven. And the ones that can receive the kingdom of heaven is only going to be the elect. Go ahead.
And it says, and that thou shouldest give reward to thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them.
Speak up.
And to them that fear thy name.
Oh, there go the name. So the ones that are going to get the kingdom of heaven is the one that feared the name. So for you to get the kingdom of heaven, you got to know the name. And what's the name? The name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son is Yahweh Shah. But in order to get to the Most High, you got to get to his son. Go ahead.
And it says, and shouldest, it's like it, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth.
Right, and should destroy them which destroy the earth. And that's what the so-called white man did. He have destroying the earth. I'm about to wrap it up. All right, and the word destroy in the Greek, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing the Greek word wrong, is diopatria, means to change for the worse, to corrupt of minds or morals. And that's what the so-called white man did. He polluted the earth, and he destroyed the morals of the people. To consume of bodily vigor and strength of the worm or moth that eats provision, clothing, etc., to destroy, to kill. And that's fitting for the so-called white man. So let me get one last scripture. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. And he's going to wrap it up.
Okay. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 4. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, For this is the whole duty of men.
So with that, we're going to end this by saying, giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, double honors to the elders, and shalom to the elect. Shalom.